Hey everybody, Cathryn Hartt here of Heart and Soul Studio. Cheers. Today I'm going to work with you guys on drinking and eating. Here's the first tip. You don't want to do that. When you put a glass down, the microphone really picks up the noise a lot. So when you set something down, you want to make sure that it's very quiet, so you gently put it down. Same thing with using utensils. You don't just eat like you normally would because it makes a lot of noise on camera. So you're going to just barely touch the plate to get the food. All right, so that's lesson number one. Now, and so when I put this down, notice I'm not going to put it down like that because it kind of clunks. I'm going to set it down so it doesn't make a sound. All right, so when you're eating on camera or on stage, there are a couple of little tips just about eating, period, on camera. But also, mainly I want to remind you guys that this is part of my character. This is how the audience is communicated by me as to who I am and what my little insights into who I am. So it starts even with, how do I use my napkin? Is it very polite? Or is it, like just, yeah. Or is it one of these characters? Okay. So each one of these presents a different picture to you about who my character is and the way, that I am using my napkin. And it also, remember, there's always a flow that you want to have, especially on camera. So it's kind of an interesting flow. If I do things like this while I'm talking, if my line is, just what were you trying to get across? I don't want to just do hand stuff. It would be a much better picture and more interesting and more real if I said, so what are you actually trying to get across? If I do something like that, it mushes it up so it seems more real, like layers of reality, but also that little movement of just kind of doing that is kind of a pretty flow. It's almost like we're dancing when we're up here. All right, so the other thing is I want to be able to eat without really making it impossible for me to talk. So I don't want to really take, if I'm eating a sandwich, I don't really want to take a really big bite. I want it to look like, see, don't do that. I want it to really look like I'm taking a bite. So I might, so what are you on? But I really just took that much of it. You can take a little bit more, but I wouldn't take a big bite like your character maybe would really be doing, unless the point is you're stuffing all the food in your mouth and then, are drinking it all down a la Animal House style. Then you're just hoping they get it on the first shot because you're going to have to eat that and swallow it, and you're going to be very sick by the end of the day. Also, if you're eating on commercials or something where you have to do the same shot over and over again, keep a little spit cup by you. It's not impolite. It just will keep you from getting violently ill because, especially on commercials, you're going to eat a lot of the product, or you're supposed to be eating the product on camera. So after you finish, this is so fabulous. Cut. Spit. I spit it out. I don't say, ooh, that's terrible to the people around me. I just spit it out because they know I'm getting ready for the next shot, and I really just want to make the product look good. So I don't want to get sick on it by eating too much. All right, so now as I'm working out the bits that I want to do with my food, first of all, if you're at a table, may I recommend on camera or on stage that you keep your arms above the table, because otherwise my shot looks like this, and it is, it's all about pictures, so this is not an interesting shot. It looks like a head bobbing around up here. But if I can find a way to get my hands into the shot and actually be doing things, or at least, have them up here for a reason, it makes a better picture. I've completed the picture here. All right, so let's say my character is a very persnickety person. So, I don't know. He told me that you were cheating on him, but I didn't really believe him. So just by eating it that way, it tells you something. Or I could eat it, well, I don't know. You told me you were kind of, cheating on him. So little things like licking your fingers or, adding little bitty bits like this instead of, well, he told me you were cheating on him. Boring. And it doesn't look very real. So you're always trying to sort of mix things in as an actor to make it seem like there's layers of realities there, and also to punch my lines. So if I'm saying something like, well, he told me to kill you, it's not as cool as if I say something like, well, he told me to kill you. Or I could even be doing this. The person's talking to me from over there. Well, he told me to kill you, but I asked him how soon, and he was not really sure about what he wanted me to do. So I told him no. So I could actually purposely not look at the person, kind of throw it away. And, sometimes it makes it very interesting. It's sort of like denying people that you're really interested. It kind of entices them a little bit. So sometimes you kind of want to throw it away a little bit, or purposely don't give them the direct look. It'll be even more powerful. And also I can tell you that you're not important to me if you're saying, yeah, I really need you, don't you need me? And I'm saying, yeah, sure I need you. I need you, to pay my bills. Bingo. So I can also use my fork to do something. And also the way I hold my fork tells you something. Am I holding it like this? It tells you something very different. If I'm, like this, digging in, or if I'm doing tiny little things, And we all have our own ritual that we eat. Some people mush it all together. Some people divide it up. Well, let me know your character. Maybe maybe very subtly during the scene, you are, putting everything in its proper category instead of actually eating things. Maybe I'm a non-eater. While everyone else is digging in. That will tell you something about me. All right, so the other thing is that when I'm doing this, food is a great way. You see people eating and drinking on camera, especially all the time. And on stage too. We love it because it changes things. Like if I'm talking to you and I take a bite of food, it changes up the way I talk. It makes me do a lot of very naturalistic, interesting things, and it changes up my speaking. So it sounds natural, and it makes me have a much more interesting and entertaining way of presenting myself. Also, when I'm eating on camera or on a stage, the fact that I am eating, start looking at how many actors eat on camera. I'm just saying, they used to smoke a lot. Not that you want to smoke, it's terrible, but there's interesting shots that you can make with the smoking and the holding the cigarette and the smoke going up. That's the only reason you want to smoke on camera. It just makes a great picture, but don't smoke. All right, now, but the same thing with food. I can do something very interesting, little bits of business with the way I use my food. Even something as simple as a Dorito or something. Sometimes I block a scene and I'm trying to get people to have a conflict in the scene and they just don't get it. So I'll give one of them a little bag of Doritos and say, the game is who can be in charge of the Doritos. And so they stop worrying about how to say their lines, which I'm trying to get them to do, and really go after what the scene's all about. And it becomes kind of a one-upmanship thing, like one of them will be like, so let's pretend like this is the Dorito. So, did you get my phone call this morning? Or not? Oh, you didn't. Huh. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't call you. And they take the little bag of Doritos over here or something. And the other person eventually gets mad and just grabs it. and then they are the powerful one in the scene. So you can actually, you tell people that there is a problem, a conflict, a one-upmanship game going on by who has a Dorito, not just by how you say the lines. Okay, now also, drinking is fabulous. So a lot of times, if you have a drink, I'll see people with a drink here trying to do a scene in one of my classes, and they don't use it at all. Oh, how many times have you seen someone sit there like this in a bar scene or something? Slowly just, making the drink. All right, so the way that I drink also tells you something about my character. Or spit take. Sorry, but it's messy, but we love them. Or, the way that maybe I'm trying to show something about myself emotionally. And I don't even drink, maybe. Or, yeah. Right. So those little things, those put the beats in. Instead of, yeah, right. Yeah. Right. That just adds some flavor and pop and dynamics to your scene. So start trying to play with, just as an experiment at home, pull out some things to eat and start playing. And when you have an eating scene that you're supposed to have in a play or a script for film or TV, make sure that you're figuring out where you are, what you're going to do, all the little bits of business you want to work out. As soon as you get to the set and you see what food they have set out for you, start figuring out what you're going to do with it. Maybe I'm the person that reaches across and grabs off another person's plate, or that, all that stuff. Even if I don't have lines, this will tell the audience a lot about me. I can be very important in the scene just by what I'm doing, eating in the background back there. And when you practice this stuff, obviously on camera you have to match this. It's very easy. When you're practicing your lines, just match it. Yeah, well, right. So every time I practice, I'm going to practice with my invisible pantomime stuff. Yeah, well, right. So I just put it in when I'm, putting in the rhythm of the scene, and when I'm rehearsing it for myself too. So I know everybody needs to go and eat something now because, well, I am. But at any rate, so go ahead and play with this stuff. This is the acting. This is the stuff that makes it fun, that makes it entertaining, that makes you feel real, and this is the good stuff. So go forth and eat and drink. I guess you're doing that as a real person anyway, but do it as an actor too. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry.